See. That's pretty good. Let's see. Do I need to scooch it back just a smidge? There we go. Okay. So, as Faith would lovingly point out, I cheated. Which means that, well, during the break, I fixed my background. First, we'll start with that. My background. Let's talk about it. I just took a square brush and white. And sometimes I would squish, sometimes I would circle. Circle or squish. That's all I'm doing. Any place that there was too much one color. Now to me they kind of look like rose petals from American Beauty. I thought that was kind of nifty. And to keep that appearance, you remember when we put all those beautiful, beautiful, dark, glistening shadows in there? Well, I took and put those dark, glistening shadows back in, right? Except, now I took a dry brush, which this one's, or I'm sorry, a damp brush, and I just went around some of the shapes. Like if I saw, let's say right here, I want that. I wanted to show that this is a petal. We can actually go around it with that wet brush. It has short bristles. There you go. And I did that in a couple of, actually I did it all over. I'm not going to lie to you, I did it all over. And in here, I made sure that I put some of the colors like I did over here, but I muted them by the same process. And it's taking that wet brush and just going over it. So you can see there's something in there, but it's shadowed. Matter of fact, anything close to her would be dark. Then we move, as it moves away, it would fade out. And it can pick out a flower petal or two, because like I said, that's my idea. I don't know, if you don't like the background, you don't have to use it. Use something else. But this was my idea. And I'll put it in there. Okay. Let's go on to, we can put in eyebrows, up to you. I just darkened up here, darken that right there. There's an eyebrow. There's an eyebrow. I'm not a beautician, so I try to stay the hell away from stuff like that. I should watch my language. Stay the heck away from that stuff because I am not a beautician. I am not even close to a beautician. Okay. Now let's talk about that smoke. We're going to have to come back in through it. And what I am doing is I'm getting a very thin layer of white. And I'm getting a thin layer by adding water. I'm adding water to my white and I'm just coming back through. And I'm not being constant. I'm not touching it all over. I'm just slowly, softly adding life to certain spots. Or if you want to drag it, you can drag it. But make sure it is thin. You want to be able to see through it. You want to be able to see through it. That's the big one. Okay. Oh, I put a cigarette in there. The cigarette was pretty easy. This is white. Kind of keep it straight. That has Payne's gray in it. And this is the burnt umber that we've used throughout this painting. Actually, see, the good thing is that we've got this burnt umber out. So I'm going to show you how to correct a little oops I've got going on right there around that cigarette. I'm going to take some burnt umber and white. And the up says, look at that finger. Good golly, if that were my finger, I'd be screaming. It would hurt. It looks like it hurts. Just straight across like that. There you go. Now we can actually put in fingernails or what have you. I'm going to, I think, am I going to put in a fingernail? I'm trying to decide. We could. Now fingernails are going to be, let me grab some of that magenta deep here. I've got my square. We're going to kind of go like that, squish and pull. Don't want it to go too far because I think she's a little goth chick who probably bites her nails. There we go. And maybe a little on that one. There you go. Yeah, I think she does. Okay. I'm going to take that same brush that has a little bit of that magenta on it. I'm going to wipe off that magenta. And now I'm just going to use that on the eyelids. It's putting on eyeshadow, okay? That's all I'm doing. See, I don't have a lot of paint on my brush. So as I do that, it makes it a little more attractive. Okay, now you're going to think, what the hell are you doing now? Because why are you messing with all that? And I need to, it's so funny because I get this mouthing once the kids go to bed. It's like I say things like hell and damn, stuff like that. Okay, I'm kind of using that magenta right here and making sure my Venusian blubber cups, great Venusian blubber cups are, they have the same visual appeal as the rest of it. And I know, boobies get attention anyway, but what I am talking about is visually. Visually, we want to make sure that this is getting attention. Now, the other thing I did that I really didn't like, and I'm going to kind of fix it, is, see that black line like down there? Yeah, we're going to pretend that that is part of the shadow down here, because it is. It was originally supposed to be. We get a little bit of white, and we're going to just have something there and maybe kind of right there. So that way it looks, you know, it doesn't look like I've got this big black line around her. There we go. There. I like that. Okay. Now we still have to work on this hair. And now Faith likes the burnt umber. And let's see, we use burnt umber and I'm blanking. What is my favorite? It is Payne's Gray. We used the burnt umber and Payne's Gray in her hair right here, and she really liked the way it turned out. Well, I like the way that is right there, but I'm going to take that blue that I have. Like I said, this is a cobalt blue that I bought with one of those kits. I throw nothing away when it comes to paint. Okay, I'm going to add a little white to it, just a little, and what I'm going to do, usually you would go through and I'm just going to softly brush where I think there's a light source, like right here. I'm going to softly brush, 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 brush. Okay, maybe some of it's going to come like that. Here's some. We can actually go over that because I put a little of that down, so it kind of looks like a highlight kind of. Let's see. There we go. There we go. Just put a little of that burnt umber down, so that way when I start going through it with the white, it actually comes through again. Comes through like a highlight. Now I'm not sure if I like the coloration on the hair like that. Oh, I forgot to show you how to do this. We're going to make the eyelid kind of shiny like that. And again, like that. Woo! Those are the awesome tricks right there. Okay, let's do that too over here. Let me get some burnt umber going on. First, I'm going to put a little bit of that down. I'm going to wipe my brush, or wash my brush, get my whites. Not a whole lot. See, look, it's not like I dipped it in. But here, and I am just pulling. Okay. Wherever I'm going to. See, I'm just using the side of that brush. So when I use the side, just the edge, it gives me a sharper line. So I'm getting things like that. Now you can go through and do it 101 different ways. I'm going through again like that, using some of this to kind of give you an idea of where we're at. Because I'm building up more hair. See, it now looks like it actually attached to her head instead of her just, you know, laying on something. We're going to pull it out like that. There we go. I'm attaching it. I'm going to use some of that Payne's gray. I think I like where we're going with this, but I want there to be, I can't lose all my darks. Do not lose all your darks. Dark is important. And down. Yeah, I like it. So we're starting to really see a buildup of hair. Okay, and she's got her little screen. Now, one of the ways we really make that look like a screen is by building up the Payne's gray and making sure it's pretty straight. There we go, like that. And we can actually come back through down here with black. Now, but, here's our fun thing. We're going to take that cobalt blue. We're going to go under that, like that. And then I'm wiping it off. Circle, 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 circle. We're going to slightly blend it out. Why? Because we want it to be a reflection. See that? That's it. It's a reflection. We want her to be technology. I think up here, I think this is going to be a little lighter up here, because that top of her eyelids, it's going to catch more light than the eyelids themselves, I think. Now let's talk about the other thing I did, and I forgot to tell you, is right here. See, right along the eyelash, I went a little darker. Not terribly dark, but a little darker. See, I used the burnt umber right there. And we can go back through like where we made those balls. If we need that to be a little darker, and I do mean just a tad, we are not talking like crazy shadow dark. What I did was add just a touch. And see the difference? Not much. What I did was add a touch of that Payne's gray, and I do mean a touch Payne's gray to it. So, see, this is without Payne's Gray, this is with it. We're not trying to make everything seem so dark, but we do want to show that that is in shadow. And we'll use that same color while we get it on the brush in the ear. There we go. Now you can put on earrings or what have you. I might try taking that burnt umber in white. I don't know if it'll work. And just dotting it on that. It worked good enough. It kind of looks like it's lit. Now I'm going to take, remember, really light, really watered down, really thin. We can actually give it a smoke trail by going, starting from where it begins. We're just pulling up. Just make sure it's thin. So you can actually have it intertwine with itself and what have you, as long as it's thin. We want to be able to see through it. And I think I'm going to use the edge here. I'm going to kind of do a little more of the touch, touch, touch. We want it to just be an impression. There we go. Okay, anything else? I think we're about good. Now we could, let's see, we could kind of give it the impression that there's a mouth here. That's going to be hard because of the angle. She is pulling her lip down and away from us, so it would be harder. So I'm going to take that color and I'm just brushing it there a little bit, and I'm taking that same color and just brushing it here a little bit. See, I barely have paint on that brush. Okay, I'm looking at her. What else do we need to do, guys? I think she's about done. Unless you want to, we can actually do some fun things like, you know, give her an earring, something like that. Or, you know, or, let me see, I'm going to put a little bit of that in there just to give it a shine. I think we're going to take some white and that deep magenta, and I'm just going to sit here and pull and push and maybe fake it like there is an actual flower there. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. It was an idea for a second. But this is how ideas are born. If you like it, fine. You can put a whole bunch of flowers in. I'm not sure I do, so just splotch, splotch, splotch. I'm very a splotch person. Nah, don't like it. There you go. No use in making it last forever. Just give yourself a break and just wipe it out. Here we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's look. Stand back. Okay, and one of the things before I stand back I'm noticing is that my white burnt umber mix on that finger wasn't that heavy duty apparently. So I'm going to come back through a little bit. Oh, don't want to go too far high. Too high. Just a little bit. So that way it doesn't look like, you know, like the finger is waning. Okay. Yes, I have ambidextrous feet and I should be able to pick it up. But that was a teeny tiny brush. but I still was able to do it. Yay. Okay. I'm going to come back through like that. I'm going to make sure that that hand, or that thumb right there, is a little thicker. Not terribly thick. See, there's our mitt. It's a mitt. See that? Okay, guys, I'm going to stand back. And we're going to look, I'm going to look and see what we got. Okay. Now, we could literally go through, and give more detail and depth to our little petals here by throwing in, I put some I took the Magenta Deep and some of the Payne's Gray, just put it in, and I'm just highlighting some and finding the darks in others, you know, like if there's a dark patch there, here's one, and we can do all of that if we want. We could actually just go through and create individuals and give that a lot of depth. I mean, that really would give it like crazy amounts of depth. Because see, like as you get darker, it looks like it's more down and further, and you can actually go around the hair and stuff like that. And personally, the only reason I'm even bringing this up is because I thought, man, this needs it right there. Let's get rid of some of that white we got going on there. We needed a little more breakup here, because that's where I just monkeyed with it, you know. We needed some neutralization and just kind of, like I said, just picking out things and creating darks and creating lights and just giving it a bunch of color and depth. Now we can come back through. Let me get that. Now remember, this is a paper. This isn't even a canvas, but man, doesn't it hold up well? It's so awesome. I love Beyond Fang. I really do. They're an awesome company. I've used them off and on for years. Actually, when I first started out, I was too broke to buy a canvas. And I think it was my mom who said, why don't you buy canvas paper? I think, yeah, she wanted me to buy canvas paper. She bought me some canvas paper. And let me practice with that. By golly, a lot of it really needed help. But a lot of it turned out great. And so eventually I was able to make things that I liked on canvas. And okay, now if you get too much of a good thing, like I did over here, thought it was just a little too crowded. So just adding a different color in and breaking up some of those lines. There we go. I like the dark being down at this end and the light being up there, because let's face it, she's got more dark right here than right in through here. So when I put the dark in the petals, it kind of balances it out. It makes your attention come down here, and you do pay attention to it. You do notice it. And yeah, what I'm doing right now looks ugly. It's horrible. It's terrible. But I can balance out my painting by just adding a little dark. And another way, if you don't like, sitting there, you can use your little brush and do little circles. And it will blend things in for you. Blend, 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 blend. See? It's a different way of blending. It's not going to be as precise as some of this, which, you know, you don't always want, especially on something this big. You may not want something precise. Maybe you do want that blur effect, like it's like you're slightly out of focus. The blending brush is a great way to do that. Now, one of the things you have to do with a blending brush, have to, after every use, okay, have to take and blend. Okay, we got it a little darker down here. Okay, you blend and then see how horrible I'm being to this brush. And by the way, this is a face brush. It's a face brush. I got it on sale for I think $1, so I bought bunches of them. Either way, what you do is you make sure it's dry. Notice I am not throwing it into water, because if I throw it into water, it's going to be completely useless. It has to be dry. So I'm using my hand and I'm being rough with it to dry it out. And making sure the paint's off of it. Okay. I'm going to put some more dark down here, and then, let me see. I'm going to stand back and I'm going to look. I think she looks good. I think I'm going to call her done. And Faith was asking about the tattooing. Well, tattooing is whatever you so choose. And see, that's the hard part, because I'm not a tattoo artist. I really don't know jack poo-poo about tattooing, okay? So all I do is I bake it like this. I just draw lines, and sometimes I'll fill it in, or I'll bring it around. I'll act like it was supposed to be like that. No, fill in some more. Maybe kind of do some things over here and add that. There you go. There. Seriously, I don't know what this is. I mean, if you know what it is, awesome. I mean, I could actually bring it down like that. See, I'm going. I could actually come up here and do like a, but see, remember, we're going up. It's up and curved. So up and curved, we're going to go that way, curve, and I'm going to kind of shade it in a little. That way, curve, and around, like that. Here's a little around, and like that. Maybe a little one right there. Something like that. We can do all kinds of crazy things. Just whatever strikes your fancy. And I just thought, if I have to show off tattooing, I guess this is the way to do it. There we go.